Clothes, a lifestyle for some, a burden for others, and a complete afterthought for many. Over the years, I tried so many options. Bold, flowery shirts, the fedora guy, the Steve Jobs minimalist jeans and black t-shirt outfit, and more recently, something along the lines of the old money fashion, although the money part is definitely lacking. And while I never really cared for expensive clothing, I always wanted to look put together. And maybe that's my insecurity speaking because I want people to perceive me as someone who's put together. Or maybe it's out of respect because I want people to realize that, hey, Luis realized that he was going to meet us today, therefore he put some time and effort into it. But regardless, recently clothing has been getting in the way and I've been getting stressed out about it. Living in New York City often means eating a slice of pizza while naming rats on the subway on your way home. And once you're home, you're reminded of how little space you really have. So the question becomes, what does minimalism really look like for someone like this? Ever since I first stumbled upon the idea of minimalism, which was an episode of The Minimalists, I've been fascinated by the idea of it. I've been living abroad for about 7 years now, so packing lightly was always a must for me. It was always a necessity because you're always moving from place to place. So I couldn't really own a lot of things because then I would have to care about transporting them. And as I continue to learn about minimalism by listening to the podcast or reading or watching the documentaries and so on, I've learned that it's much less about things and much more about making intentional choices. Intentional choices with your money, intentional choices with your habits, intentional choices with your items, sure, but most importantly, intentional choices with your relationships. And, think of relationships as towards things, towards people, towards hobbies, towards passions. And with all that combined, recently I've been getting home and opening my closet and always being stressed out by the amount of lack of space, really, I have to do anything with my clothes. And I just don't want to pack them away because there's a bunch of items that I'm still not using. So I realized that clothing is getting the best of me and I need to address that. Now, I know that this conversation has been addressed and I'm going to point out some people that have very cool ideas on this. I think where I'm going to add to this story is the fact that you don't have to do a full, let's purge, let's get rid of a bunch of stuff. I do this consistently. I do this, every couple months, and I go through my things, and I'll find a few items that I realize I'm not using anymore, I don't need anymore, or I don't like anymore, and I give them away, or I sell, or whatever. So this is where I want to add value to this conversation. Like any game or sport, there's always a set of rules that you need to follow to make things more fun. So I chose 4 rules that I'm gonna abide by while I'm completing this minimizing task. Rule number 1 is that I cannot attach any feelings to a piece of clothing, meaning if someone special gave it to me, or if I wore in a specific occasion, or if I bought it at a specific event, that should not matter. Rule number 2 is if I haven't worn the clothing in months, considering, seasonality changes, it's a no-go. So if I haven't worn it, it needs to be gone because I'm not wearing it. Rule number 3 is that I am not going to put a minimum or maximum amount of clothing that I need to get rid of for this to work. I want to reduce any level of constraints that I have here. This is supposed to be an enjoyable moment that I get to get pleasure of rather than adding stress to it. And rule number 4 is that once I'm done picking the clothes out, I have to donate or sell them within a week, so my roommates don't kill me because it's going to be a box just laying on the side. Okay, so now I'm going to start going through some of the clothes that I got here, and turns out there's a lot more than I thought there were, which is good, I guess, proves a point. But before I do that, there's this argument for wearing the same piece of clothing over and over, and I think the first spot that I saw that was on an article by Joshua Becker, who's, one of the people that writes about minimalism. I think he might have been the first guy that wrote about it. I don't know if it was the minimalist or him first, but they know each other. Apparently they talk, so, But part of this conversation is to decrease decision fatigue. Because when you're wearing the same stuff, you don't have to stress out about what to wear tomorrow. And currently, this is a problem that I have. Although I just have my set of outfits that I know work together. So if I think of one piece, I can always put the other ones together because I have this look that I already have in mind, but I still need to go through that conversation of, okay, which one of them am I going to pick? So there was a point in time that I used to just wear, the basic jeans and t-shirt, as I said earlier today. And now I am found with this same issue, so I am trying to reconcile whether I want to go back to that or not. So I got a few items here, and I'm gonna pull some of them out. I got a couple t-shirts. The logos and the ideas don't really matter. I think I got these for free, and they're actually new. They're new, but they don't really fit my style. I got them for free. I should not have gotten them, so I'm probably gonna donate them. There are a couple of jackets that they're kind of too big for me, so I'm gonna put them out. There are some t-shirts, t-shirts that you get on like events. I'm not gonna show the logo just because I don't need to, give promos for anyone out. But you get all these clothes that people just give away at events and you pick up, because I particularly pick them up because I feel bad. And I'm like, they're giving away, but I should probably get better at saying no. And I am very good at saying no when it's like a time-wise situation, like, am I gonna set plans? When someone's just handing me something that I actually don't like, yeah. I also got, a basic black t-shirt that it's kind of too tight at this point. I got a couple hoodies or quarter zips over here. I'm looking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 items already. Okay, so we got a few items, and I want to expand a little bit on the decision fatigue part. There's other benefits to it, and I linked an article below in which Joshua Becker actually explains all of them and goes through them and gives extra. So if you have the time and you want to read it, go for it. I particularly enjoyed the read. It's a quick read. A couple of the other things that matter is that once you have less clothes, because you just always wear the same thing, you spend less. Apparently the household income spends more than you think they would spend. The average American household income would spend more than you would think on clothing. And when you're wearing the same stuff, you don't really spend because there's another section for you to not worry about. So I think that the beauty in getting rid of clothing is that it opens up space in hidden spaces. So in this case, it just opened up a few dollars here and there on your budget for you to spend intentionally and spend your time intentionally and go to events or things that matter to you, rather than, wearing pieces of clothing that you want others to perceive you as a certain type of person. So, eventually, I think that the ultimate benefit here is that you will stress less. And I found an item here that I haven't worn in years, and I gotta grab it from here. It's a suit that I wore at my dad's wedding, and I haven't worn it in almost 5 years. 5 years? Jeez, 5 years now. And it's been sitting here. And every time I've tried it, and it feels really tight. It is a slim fit suit, but it feels tighter than what I feel it should, and I haven't worn it. It's been sitting there because there's this possibility that I would wear this suit, and I'll have a different suit that I thrifted, and I'm very excited about, and then got it tailored. That looks a lot better, I feel a lot nicer in, and I don't need that many suits. I need one suit because there are not that many events that I need to be wearing a suit for, and the one time I do, I use it. And if I have, in the case in which I would have to wear it consistently for a couple of days in a row, or like a couple of times in a week, if it's a couple of days in a row, just make sure the clothing under, you get to switch at the shirt, for example. I don't know. But if you have a space, wash it. Get it washed. Like, dude, clothes, you can wash clothes. Like, we don't need that many clothes. There's another concept I would love to highlight to you, which, if you've been following minimalism and, this clothing segment, you probably heard of. It's the Project 333 by Courtney Carver. I've heard Project 333, and, the idea is that you want to have 33 items or less and wear them for 3 months. And the idea is that you actually have a lot more outfits than what you would think if you own 33 items or less. I'm pretty sure underwear doesn't count. But go look it up. It's very freaking cool because it does. The beauty in creating limitations is that it allows you to be creative within that limit. And I think that's particularly very cool. But, that's an idea. You can look it up. I think you get some value from it. I've never tried it myself, but I'm pretty sure I've been down to like 25 items, and I did think there was too few. But that was during the pandemic, so it didn't really matter. Okay, now I got a few other things here. Let me pull it up. Got another t-shirt. Well, I got 2 other t-shirts. And then I got some work clothes, which your work clothes. And I have 2 of these, and they still work, they're still good. I just realized I never really wear them. I always wear like a plain white shirt, and I'll change the either the jacket or the pants, but I always just gravitate towards the white shirt, which might be me trying to, counterbalance the decision fatigue. So anyway, I got a couple more here. Where's the other one? Here, this one. I also have this one, which relates to my point of not being sentimental about things. I already talked about the suit, and you saw that I probably didn't really care. It just happened. Like, my dad doesn't care that I wore that suit to his wedding. We have that in picture. It doesn't matter. This one was a gift from my host sister in like my 3rd or 4th year when I had moved to the US. I really like this shirt. It's a nice shirt. I'll show you over here. It's a nice shirt. And I've worn it for a while. I like the material, but I haven't worn it in a very long time. And every time I've worn it recently, I felt that it's a little too baggy, or it doesn't really fit me anymore. So maybe this is what you needed to also do some of your, purging. I don't really like that word, but if someone gave you a gift that no longer serves you, it's your gift, it's your item. Some people will struggle with the fact that, oh, but it was a gift from this person. The person is your gift. Having the relationship in your life is your gift. It's not about the things that they give you. Those are just things. They don't really matter. And I think that's one of the other cool things about minimalism is that it's not so much that we care little about items. It's more that we care more about relationships. I would much rather have her in my life rather than having a gift that she's given me. Okay, so finally I'm gonna do the count of how many items I got overall. I'm still pulling them. Let's see. So on the bottom here, I got a long overall jacket for winter. I don't like this fabric. The reason I don't want it anymore is because every time I wore it, it rained and I got very wet, and I don't think it really flies with me anymore. And I have other jackets. This does not need to be taking space on my closet anymore. So I got 1, got some pants, 2, tie, 3, a belt, 4, pants from the suit, 5, let's count yours, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, and then I have 2 pairs of shoes that I haven't shown, so 20 items. I guess, no, yeah, let's count the shoes as one. 20 items of things that were just in my closet that I wasn't really wearing, and I have all this, mental space to do other things with. The story here is that minimalism is a tool. It doesn't have to be hard. It's a tool to help you be less stressed and live more intentionally. I didn't have the urge of doing this minimizing exercise until I realized that I was stressed out about the lack of space that I had. So you'll notice that this wasn't out on a whim or just because I wanted to purge. There was an intention about how I'm approaching this, and you see that there is a system on how I'm doing this. I'm asking questions to myself. Does this still fit me? Do I still like it? Have I worn it recently? And so on. So I hope this video brings you some inspiration so you can go and do something that also minimizes stress in your life, so you can also make your choices in a more intentional manner. Thank you so much for watching. If you think I'm bringing you some value, please subscribe. That's how I know that you guys are enjoying. Press some buttons here somewhere, and I appreciate all the time you've given me.